Shalom Tribe, this is Jax here in Nomadic Wonders and Temple Hills. I am outside on the property right here with this amazing, very old juniper berry tree. The reason I know it's an old juniper berry tree is because look how big it is. Okay, juniper berry trees are, it's a red cedar, and actually they are very slow growers. So in order for a tree to get this high and this big, it's gonna take decades. All right, with that said, we are here, we're gonna be harvesting some of the juniper berries. And to do it ethically, we wanna make sure we just wanna get the berries. Now you can cut the stems, but because remember, it's a slow growing tree, so we don't wanna disturb that growing process. So I'm just gently harvesting the berries right into my container. And why am I harvesting juniper berries? Well, because they're amazing for your kidneys if you have any kind of chronic kidney issues as far as UTIs, good for the bladder. It's a good tonic for the kidneys. The other reason I like juniper berries is because they're good for digestion, bloating, heartburn, acid reflux, just in general digestion. They're also amazing as a topical salve for arthritis, joint pain. Topically, it just helps with the inflammation. And they have been known also to be used by the Native Americans to purify the air, if you want to put it that way. The way it works, that you can actually make little bundles of the actual juniper branches and smoke them for a smudge, or light them up for a smudge. And the way that works is that the smudge helps clear up viruses and bacteria and molds from the air. It really does help neutralize and clean the air. The Native Americans also used the beads, and they called them ghost beads. And what they would do, they would dry them up and string them and put them on kids' cradles, in the homes, in different areas. Again, the ghost berries, the way it works is just basically purifying the air. The way you use juniper berries, you could do it orally through a tincture. You could do a tea, and you can do an oil extraction to make a salve, an ointment. So those are the different ways you can use juniper berries. For a tea, you want to make sure you could do dried or fresh berries. For a tincture, you definitely want to use the fresh berries. And for your extracts, for oil extracts and such, you want to do dried berries. Juniper berries are really good for antiviral. They have antiviral and antibacterial properties, and they're also used for diabetes. Juniper berries are amazing to just have around the house. Just literally just dry some and just have them around the house, and purifies the air. I will go more into how to make the tinctures and the salve and the oil extractions. Right now we currently have some drying and some in the crock pot to, because those are the beginning processes that we'll need in order to make our medicine. And with all medicine, just make sure you ethically forage and you ethically, taking care of the plant, because you don't want to destroy or disturb the nature, the process in nature. So here's some of the berries. And what I'm going to do with these berries is basically I'm going to dry them up. I'm going to make them into a tincture, an oil salve, or an ointment. It's going to be very powerful, and it's good for arthritis. Okay, anything joint pain, arthritics, just in general, topically is amazing. So get it in your medicine cabinets, and I will go and teach you guys how to make your own medicine. But again, we're going to be having it on our little store, so look for that, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye. So we're going to be making juniper berry infused oil. So after you have harvested your berries, you want to go ahead and dehydrate them or dry them. You can spread them out evenly on a dehydrator sheet. Make sure they are spread out evenly so they dry uniformly. We are using a dehydrator to dry our berries, but you're more than welcome to set them out on a cookie sheet and air dry them overnight. When using a dehydrator, you want to set your temperature at 118 or less. You also want to set your time for 6 to 8 hours depending on your room temperature. After your berries have been dried, you can use a coffee grinder, a food processor, or a blender to grind your berries to secrete the volatile oils that will be going into your infused extract. After you have ground your berries, you can use avocado oil or olive oil for your extract. There are a few methods to extract the volatile oils from the berries. One is using your slow cooker or a crock pot, a double boiler, or simply just leaving the berries in the oil for 4 to 6 weeks. We're going to be using an Instapot with a slow cooker option. Set your time to 8 hours and make sure you have it on low. I am using 1 cup of juniper berries to 2 cups of avocado oil. After your berries are done, you want to use a cheesecloth or a cotton cloth to strain your berries. After you have strained your berries, you want to put it in a mason jar with a lid. Make sure you label your jar so that way you know exactly what oil you have extracted and the date. Your oil is now ready to be made into an ointment or a salve. Stay tuned for that process. Join me in part 2 to see how it is done. Shalom!